At 27 years old, Sara Blakely was driving around Atlanta selling fax machines door to door with just $5,000 in savings. Yet, she became the world's youngest self-made woman billionaire. She didn't have an MBA, she had no manufacturing or fashion experience, and no investors or business connections. So how did she go from selling fax machines to building a billion-dollar company? Long before Spanx became a household name, she was already using many of the same manifestation principles and techniques that we talk about on this channel. So in this video, I'm breaking down the manifestation techniques and principles that Sara Blakely used in order to make history and a whole lot of money in the process. But first, welcome back to Manifesting with Mandy, where we discuss the manifestation principles and techniques and tools that you can use to consciously create the life that you desire. So if you're ready to become the creator of your own reality, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more. Now, before we get into the techniques, there's something very important that you should know about Sara. When she was just 16 years old, her father gave her a set of Wayne Dyer cassette tapes called How to Be a No Limit Person.
Spanx started way before I cut the feet out of my pantyhose. That's the soundbite in the press that everybody's talked about for almost 20 years. But it actually started fundamentally on when I was 16. I worked on mindset for myself, and I'm such a believer in mindset is almost everything. And when my dad moved out, he came into my bedroom and he handed me a cassette tape series called How to Be a No Limit Person by Wayne Dyer. And he said, "Sweetie, I wish I discovered this when I was your age instead of the age of 40. And then he moved out. And so I started listening to this How to Be a No Limit Person, which was talking about visualization, law of attraction, not caring about what other people think about you, the fear, not being consumed by the fear of failure. And it just, the clouds parted for me, and I thought, I've spent a lot of time being taught what to think, but no one's really teaching me how to think. And at 16, that was so incredibly important. So in this digital platform, it's kind of passing on a lot of these insights that deal with mindset that I think is the real reason that Spanx exists.
So decades before Spanx ever existed, she had already begun changing the way that she thought. And I think that laid the foundation for everything that came next. Technique number 1, she visualized the destination before she knew the path. Okay, so let's set the scene. The year is 1998. Sara is 27 years old. She's living in Atlanta, Georgia, selling fax machines door to door, getting rejected every single day. She saved exactly $5,000 from her sales job. She had no investors, no fashion background, no idea how to manufacture clothing. So on paper, the odds were stacked against her. Yet during the same season of her life, Sara says that she repeatedly visualized herself sitting on Oprah's couch. Now here's what's fascinating. She didn't know why she would be there. She wasn't trying to become famous. She simply knew somehow that she would end up on the Oprah Winfrey Show one day. Years later, Oprah named Spanx one of her favorite things.
Now, my next favorite thing is a great invention. Spanx really changed the way I wore clothes.
And Sara appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show.
You were my moment. I mean, God, listen, okay, I was trying for a year to get this idea made.
Notice what she didn't do here. She didn't obsess over every step of the way. She focused on the destination, and she remained open to however life would get her there. Because as I love to say, the how is none of our business. Your job is to become familiar with the end. That's it.
I visualized this for myself. When I was selling copiers door to door, I had a very clear vision of what my life was going to be like. And I encourage everyone to do it. Take a snap photo of what success looks like for you. How many employees do you have? How much are you making? Where do you live? Are you sitting at a table with world leaders? Are you standing on a stage in New York City giving a speech? And hold on to that snapshot, and you will subconsciously start to make decisions that get you there. And so my snap photo for myself when I was going door to door to sell copiers was to be self-employed, invent a product that I could sell to lots of people and not just one copier to each person, and create a business for myself that would continue to fund itself if I wasn't present. I wanted money to be generated without me having to be there. I was that specific in my vision.
Technique number 2, she set the intention, then created space space to receive. Now, before launching Spanx, Sara began asking herself a very specific question.
So I actually wrote in my journal that night, I'm going to invent a product that I can sell to millions of people that will make them feel good. And then I specifically asked the universe for the idea. And I said out loud in my apartment, universe, give me the idea. And 2 years later, I cut the feet out of my pantyhose to go to a party. I couldn't figure out what to wear under white pants. And I did it only one time because I was so open and receptive to what the universe was going to provide for me. And it took 2 years, and I was always looking, but it showed up, and I was going to pursue it. I wasn't sure if that was the idea or not.
She had already prepared her mind to recognize opportunity when it appeared. Years later, she reflected that she believes intuition becomes stronger the more you learn to trust it, kind of like a muscle. She once said, and I quote, "When you spend time alone, that's when your gut really has a clear channel to you." I recognize just by asking myself some personal questions and also being quiet with myself that I hear my gut the loudest when I'm driving in my car alone. Now, I found that really interesting because it reminds me of something I talked about in the Michael Jackson manifestation video I did. Michael Jackson would float quietly in the pool because he believed that inspiration came when he made the space to receive it. So creating stillness allows you to become more open and receptive to ideas and inspiration that may have gone unnoticed otherwise. Technique number 2, she scripted her future. Now let's rewind back to around 1996. Sara is about 25 years old, still selling fax machines door to door. She wrote in her journal that she would invent a product that would help millions of women. Today, we would call this scripting. Or in other words, writing your desired future before you've experienced it. Interestingly, psychologists found that writing about your goals and desired future can improve the clarity, strengthen your commitment, and increase the likelihood that you'll actually notice opportunities aligned with those goals.
If you write your goals down, it makes all the difference. Harvard did a study in 1973. They took the graduating class and asked how many of them had goals. 100% of them had goals. Well, they asked how many had written down their goals upon graduation. Only 5% of the class had. In 1993, 20 years later, they followed up with the class. They found that the 5% that had written down their goals 20 years prior upon graduating were worth more financially than the other 95% of the class put together. So I have always written my goals down about what I wanted to achieve, and I really attribute a lot to that. And then aim high.
In the law of assumption, we believe that repeatedly imagining or writing from the end impresses a new assumption upon your subconscious mind. Technique number 4, she protected her assumption. Now, this is one of my most favorite parts of Sara's story. It's what she didn't do. She kept her idea to herself for an entire year. Now, here's what she said. "When I first thought of Spanx, I didn't tell anybody for 1 year. Nobody told me not to share the idea with people. This was just a gut feeling that I had. After a year, I told my friends and family, and I heard, this is such a good idea. Why hasn't it already been done? And even if it is a good idea, the big guys will just knock you off in 6 months, and then you've just spent your life's savings on this." If I had heard those thoughts the first day I had the idea, I'd probably still be selling fax machines today. Sara understood something that many of us learn the hard way. Ideas, especially in the very beginning, are incredibly fragile, mostly because your beliefs and faith in the idea are also fragile, and people will absolutely reflect your own doubts, insecurities, and fears. So instead of defending her dream, she protected it. She gave it enough time to become real to her first, to become more confident, and to build her own faith and belief in it. Only then did she invite other people into it. Finally, technique number 5, she persisted even when reality did not match her vision. Now, this has to be one of the most important lessons of all. Sara didn't visualize for a month and then give up. She persisted. She called hosiery mills all around the country. Many of them rejected her, but she kept going. She spent nearly 2 years building Spanx while still working her full-time sales job. She wrote her own patent because she couldn't afford an attorney. Every single obstacle became another problem for her to solve, not evidence that her vision wasn't possible. And I think that's where so many people get stuck. They mistake resistance for rejection or failure. Sara didn't. She understood that setbacks weren't signs to quit. They were simply part of the bridge of incidents, leading her to the outcome she'd already accepted. Because we know that circumstances don't matter. And if you need a quick reminder, you can click up here, or in the description box for the video that I created on that specific topic. So what can we learn from Sara Blakely? She visualized the destination before she knew the path. She intentionally created space for inspiration. She scripted the future she wanted to live. She protected her assumptions from unnecessary doubt. And she persisted long after most people would have given up. But what makes her story so fascinating is that aside from building a successful billion-dollar business, she built and embodied the identity of the woman capable of creating one. She had the willingness to learn new skills, the tenacity, the positive mindset, and this fiery self-belief that most successful entrepreneurs possess. Long before the world saw a billionaire, Sara had already begun seeing herself that way. Her journey is a reminder that sometimes all you need is the courage to believe in a future that no one else can see yet, and the persistence to keep moving until the world catches up. If you've enjoyed this video or found it helpful, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more videos on manifesting our dream lives. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
When I first started Spanx 2, I joined a group and they put me in a forum, and I got put in with 10 guys. I'm the only girl. I have met with these 10 guys every single month for 17 years now. They're like my brothers. But they will tell you when I first started, they were all taking bets in the group of how long I'd be in business. And I would always say things like, they'd go around the room and talk about things, and I would say, well, I've asked the universe to do this, and I've taken care of this, and I have visualized that I'm gonna be on Oprah, and I have, and they're like, and so, and then like my results kept going up and up and up. And then eventually after a couple of years, one by one, and I'm not kidding, every single one of them pulled me aside secretly and was like, so how do you talk to the universe?